We bring the conversation back home to Nigeria, where time is running out for the National Assembly in concluding work on amending the 1999 Constitution, as the delay by state houses of assembly to make returns to the federal legislature has stalled the process. According to reports, only 11 states out of the 36 states of the Federation have so far voted on the 44 out of a total of 66 bills endorsed by the Joint National Assembly Committee on Constitution Review, headed by Senator Ovia Omagege. The 44 approved bills were transmitted to the State Houses of Assembly through the clerk to the National Assembly, Amos Olatunde Ojo, on March the 29th, 2022, for approval in line with Section 9 stipulations of the nation's constitution. Well, joining us now to discuss this development is Arise analyst Kayode Otitoju. Welcome to Newsday. It's always a pleasure to have these conversations with you. Now, one of the main accusations being made by the Deputy Senate President is that the governors are stalling the process of the review that needs to happen, the approval that needs to happen at the State House Assembly level. Now, is this an indication that the houses of assembly, both the national and at state level, are weak institutions if governors can use executive powers to block these, 66 amendments, 44 out of the 66?
Thank you. Constitutionally, governors have nothing to do with passage of bill, constitutionally. But, they control their houses of assembly by the virtue of being instrumental to election of the House of Assembly members and even determination of who will be the speaker. So, covertly, they control. Yeah. The Senate, time was running out because they must start winding up and present, their scorecard. So they had 66 bills, out of which, after the normal sending it for town hall meetings and deliberation from the people, and because really the way bills are passed is that after conceiving the bill and is sent to the appropriate House committee, that is the specialist committee, that knows more about particular issue. So the committee will now go to the people by way of town hall meeting, conferences and whatever, just to sample the opinion. Once it's agreed, then the two houses, the Senate and the House of Rep, which is known as National Assembly, they put everything together and get it to the clerk of the House to transmit it to the 36th House of Assembly for concurrence. So, until there is concurrence by the House of Assembly and is sent back to the National Assembly, the National Assembly can send it to Mr. President for assent and final passage. So, there is a sort of war in between the governors and the senators. If you look at Nigeria, once you finish your term as governor, the next place you want to go, if you are not aiming at competing for the position of Mr. President, then the next way you want to go is Senate. Okay? So, and by so doing, they have already started preparing themselves for the conventions and congresses and whatever. Then the senators too, that still want to return and they constitute majority, they, through the Electoral Act, brought in a bill, and by the time you say Jack Robinson, they have passed it, which now made the selection of position, the preserve of only the delegates, that's the statutory delegates. Before, statutory delegates were people holding elective positions like senators, rep, House of Assembly, then the officials of the parties elected. The operative word was elected, okay? But when the Senate was passing, they restricted the statutory delegates to only the elected delegates. And some parties, they have only one elected delegates per local government. But some parties have up to 4. So that means 4 times 7,
28?
7,
28?
7, 20. I mean the local government, number of local government.
Okay, you said 4 times 7.
720, no, I think 740 something is the number of local government, which means the maximum delegate will have been getting, if it's just 111 per local government, to determine who will become a president, will have been just that, or times 4. So, and that means even the senators too have already, edged themselves out, because they used to be statutory delegates, but now what they passed was now restricted to elected delegates. Okay, so that is that. Now, the governors too, there are some bills, being conceived by the House of Assembly. Something like state police, so that the state will be in control of state police. Then, if principal officer or of the House of Assembly is to be replaced, okay, they want it to be within their own power. Not that, like what happened in Edo, the speaker was to be replaced and there was 2 more, and House of Rep had to take over. Okay, so they want to streamline things to the extent that actually the National Assembly can't interfere. Then they want legislative arm too to be somehow independent, that at state level. And they said, okay, unless you pass that, we won't pass your own 44. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, but out of the 44, really, about 16 states had already assented, okay? And and for it to become, lawful, 24 House of Assembly House of Assembly must assent to the bill. So, and that's where we are. And these people are now saying, okay, time is running out. If you don't pass this, that means, their productivity can be displayed, because the productivity depends on how many bills that is passed and which will be useful to the people. So, the Senate are saying, yes, you too, you can have, no, the House of Assembly, they are telling the Senate that they won't pass.
Give us what we want so that we can give you what you want.
Yeah,
So
most especially the local government autonomy.
The local government autonomy.
Yeah, because once there is local government autonomy, that means pension of local government money that comes from the central will be difficult for the governors. So these are the things that are really playing out. But Nigeria Nigerians are the worst for it, because when 2 elephants fight, it's the grass that suffer, So that's the position.
Now that we're very clear on how difficult that position is, what is the way forward based on this deadlock? Seeing as how close we are to the elections, is this dead in its tracks, or is there another step that can be explored?
Yes, I think there are certain people that are saying, okay, maybe there should be lobby. Like maybe the National Assembly should lobby the governors. But the governors are not even the people. They're not
held accountable in the legislative process.
Exactly. So I don't know, because and these people are so independent, even of the executive, to the extent that the president can't just overrule. You know when something is sent to Mr. President and it's not signed within a certain period, the Senate or the National Assembly has the right to overrule Mr. President. But it's not the way, it's not applicable to Mr. President overruling. You get my point. So
I do.
What's the way out? Moral suasion, pressure from press, pressure from and making them know that actually they can't just hold us to ransom. Okay? If states say they want state police and we know it's good for us, and let it be. And if these people say the federal legislature, if they say yes, there must be local government autonomy, so that the real three tiers of government will now be, independent, because the money for
the various budgets that are allocated
for local government ought to be given directly from central, not passing it through state. Because what is happening now is the state collect the money, they form a sort of committee under the supervision of, deputy governor, and they call it DAC something, where they will say, okay, this money has come to us, this is what we will do for you in your local government out of the money. They won't give the money to the local government chairman, because even they were instrumental to the election of the local government chairman, so they control them. So after that, they may say, okay, have this 100,000 as your own pocket money for the month, whereas they collected billions, for the local government. So this is what the federal or even Mr. President wants to see that actually achieve, for local government as a tier of government to be independent.
Now, we look at how heavily this process has become politicized, with the various personalities throwing their weight behind, in the form of governors throwing their weight behind, state assemblies and interfering, or I don't want to call it interference, but rather getting involved in the process. We look at international democracies, old democracies, and lobbying is an active part of this nature of politics, of this political system. But when we look at it in other parts of the world, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Everybody has their own interests, and everybody's always trying to make sure that their interests are are made law by way of the Constitution. How do we get the good out of the power brokering, so to speak, that happens in the various strata of government?
I think the problem is the real devil are not the people that could be accountable. Okay? They can't be accountable, but they are the insinuator and instigator of whatever is happening at state level. And how do you solve it? It's when you are responsible to something or for something that you can be lobbied. The governments that are behind, they are not, you can't lobby them. They have good association, which is Committee of Governance Forum, okay? And just as the House of Assembly too, they have a Committee of Speakers, about 36 of them. So it's difficult to lobby. The only way we can get what we want out of this peculiar Nigerian factor is through pressure from the public. Haven't known the procedure, which I've already given out, how things are done, and until there is concurrent of whatever is coming from the National Assembly by the State Assembly, it can't go further. It will just remain stalled there. Now they have 16 that are already, acceded to, but they still need 16 minus 24. That's 4. They still need at least 8 House of Assembly to give concurrence before anything can move for them.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Kayode Otitoju, Rise News analyst. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Thank you.